Hello everybody, it is LE Diecast, or Mr. LE Diecast to those that are not my friends. Well, we've got a repeat, I guess. We've got many repeats today, so before we start, got a question. A few videos back when I did my question and answer video. By the way, we're going to do another one of those. That was quite a bit of fun. Somebody who I do not have the notes in front of me right now asked the obvious question of what was my favorite custom that I had built. And I gave a description. I don't think I showed an example. Well, this is Nemo's Leemo, and this is my favorite custom that I have built to date for a lot of reasons. I have many that are right up there as my favorites, but this one would be the top one, probably because it took me the longest to build. Now, I think I've done a video on this and I explained how I built it. I'm going to do that again because I didn't really like how that video turned out. I didn't think I had explained some of the things very well. If you follow me on Instagram, you actually saw this being built. So if you like my customs or you watch this show for the customs, make sure you follow me on Instagram at LE Diecast, because all of my customs, I usually take pictures as I'm building them. I don't always cover them here in the show. In fact, I've been doing that less and less because it's kind of tricky to move the customs, and the paint's always wet, and I'm getting fingerprints on them when I want them to dry. It just takes more time that I'd rather be working on the custom for these. But this one is my favorite. Now, the concept of this changed a little bit as I went. And again, if you follow this on Instagram, you would see all of this in real time take place. The original concept was I wanted something very steampunk. I was thinking like Captain Nemo from 2000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's right? That's the right one? I think so. And I wanted it to be different looking. So I wanted to take a casting and completely blow it up and make something that was really totally mine, something that like I hadn't seen before. And I had this idea in my head of something kind of coming out of a wave. So I wanted to stick with kind of the Nemo water theme. I also wanted a jet engine type thing on top that you could kind of see down to. Now originally, this whole piece here was meant to be kind of covered with a metal top or sheeting of some sort. It just looked too flimsy and too bulky or too odd. I actually have the parts. It was that way for a while, but no longer. I wanted to be able to see down into it, and I wanted to use some different themed stuff that I could find. And I don't have these things when I start the custom. I always buy them as I go. I don't actually have a lot of little parts and pieces. I usually kind of force myself to go find them. So, a few things about this as it ended up. This engine on top is a combination of a lot of ballpoint pin parts. So this piece here, this piece back here, this piece in the center. Those are all from just a ballpoint pin that happened to be sitting on my desk. I thought that this piece here looked like the front of a jet engine. So I went with that. This kind of shielding piece here on top, I've just dremeled out of the cylinder of a ballpoint pen as well. The little pipes as all over the car, tubing, that is rubber craft tubing that you can buy under a lot of different uses. I got mine, it was as bead string for necklaces. So at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Michael's, you can get it in the bead section, and it's just rubber tubing. It's really flimsy rubber tubing, and I find it way easier to work with than dealing with aluminum or copper tubing to bend these around. So this piece here that's kind of formed around the wheels, that's just rubber tubing. If you are going to do that, don't use enamel paint on it. Enamel paint and rubber do not mix. They don't get along. Bad things will happen. Just use acrylic on that or paint it before you put it on. These pieces here, these kind of exhausts, I fashioned after like an octopus breathing tube, I guess you call them, gills, maybe that's what they are. But octopus kind of have these big tubes, and that's what they shoot along, or shoot out water and shoot it through the water. That's what these were meant to be like. These are chopped up kind of beads as well, and if I remember, I think I found those in a craft store. I've added some parts to them here, and the rims are metal cylinders. I believe that's aluminum, and I've just dremeled them to fit because they're sitting on a curved surface there. Now you might be wondering about this ribbed surface, this, oh, they look like planks. That is aluminum tubing, and I would show it to you, but I don't seem to have any more right here offhand. You know what, oh, here we go, right in front of me. I just found some of that rubber tubing. So this is the rubber tubing that I used, and I've chopped the top off of it, but, well, there's what I got. I chopped the tops off to save space when I pack these. There you go. But that's the rubber tubing that I used, and here is that aluminum tubing, well, aluminum wire, and those are your numbers if you're looking to get it. Flat aluminum wire, it comes like that. That is plenty for anything we do. I don't know if you need the back. But this flat aluminum wire, all I did was glue along the side of the casting once I joined all the pieces together. And then I just dremeled and sanded it smooth. Originally it was kind of bumpy, and I used JB Weld to hold it on. And it worked great. This curved fender piece here is that same tubing I've glued JB Weld again onto either, this one was paper. I just glued that onto paper and then formed it, and then I've dremeled in the shape. I've just kind of shaved the side off to make the shape of it. The casting itself is made up of a bus that, here is the back side of the bus, in case you're wondering what it was. It is that model, and truthfully I don't know what this is. I'll get you the name on that. That is the back of the bus there. That's going to interfere with my green screen, I bet you. Sorry, I broke away there for a second. I thought I had that casting of the bus. I can't remember the name. Anyways, the name will be up on top of the screen by the time I edit it. Here is the front of that bus. Whoops, wrong way. So that is the back that's been chopped off of it. So if you're wondering how I created the back. Now most of it's covered up with that aluminum wire, but that's what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of rotate this around. It will roll. It's a little awkward, but it will roll. So the back here, I've used some small watch parts for the various details. I buy those in bulk. I have quite a few of them. I found this really cool octopus here that I've used on the engine. And the back, this is aluminum tubing with some beads that I found, and I wanted it to look kind of like dreadlocks for the exhaust in the back. I thought that would look really cool. I really like the way it looks, and I like this little kind of shield piece that's built out of those, there you can see the back of it, that's built out of, again, that wire, aluminum wire, that flat wire. I really like the way that flat wire turned out. There is a very cool little manta ray on the front here. He is a little rubber figure that we found, I think it's SeaWorld or something. The front kind of has this rebreather apparatus on it that I thought looked really cool. I've used these little, they're actually little kegs from a train set that I've kind of sanded down and repurposed on the front. And then some of these little details, these are a combination of various little beads that I found at Walmart. The front wheels are from the original bus. The back wheels are from a Batman tumbler, which, let me tell you, if you're ever going to use one of those Batman tumblers, this was the oversized ones. Man, those things are hard to get apart. They are solid, solid metal. It probably took me an hour to get those wheels out of that thing without damaging them. There's some more clock parts here that I've used around the wheels and on the hubs just to break it up. I thought it looked a little bit too modern without that. It is asymmetrical. There is a compressor on the other side here. If I rotate this around, probably could have used a different diorama. It just occurred to me that this country scene is not where we'd probably see Nemo. There's my little compressor on top. That was a new addition, and if I remember right, that piece was not on this car when it was in the LA Hot Wheels convention show. I think I added that after. It was something that occurred to me later. You can see down into the engine a little bit. I'll kind of tip this just so you can see down in there. There was a plastic shield over the top of that at one point, but I was having a lot of trouble with the super glue fogging up the plastic when I got close to the end on this, and I bought a product that allowed me to age it and put that patina on it, and so I took the plastic off. It was fogging up and it was in the way, and I was going to have to replace it, and I didn't like it anyways, so I took it off. So yeah, I really like this one. You asked what my favorite one was? That one is my favorite. So I hope that gave you a little bit more insight into how I built this thing. I mentioned I joined two cars together. I'll go into that technique in another video. I have covered it in a video long ago, but that's another one that I would like to redo someday. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye bye.